Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we are back for another update with Kieran. It's been interesting times in the general market and stuff like that. And obviously the boys and girls have still been building. So we're going to go through things like Overworld, betas, PvP, Illuvitars, Illuvium Zero, and just get a nice little roundup of where Illuvium's at. Kieran, welcome back, mate.
Hi, Vulcan. Good to be here, man.
Very well. We had a nice little chat beforehand, so we definitely got a few topics to touch on. But firstly, obviously, the first thing I want to say is we've gone through, and it's been good to see some more Overworld gameplay. Grant did a stream. We had you and Bryson looking at the capturing animations. How are you internally feeling about where the game is at in that sense, in terms of like the Overworld, the gameplay loop, and the capturing and stuff like that?
Well, the final build's done, so it's in the hands of the testers now and the QA team. That process, it's obviously a very, very large build and something that they have been doing QA on for the past, few months leading up to this. So it's not like they need to do a full review, but yeah, they're just combing through, making sure that there aren't any last minute bugs. As you saw, it's pretty polished as it is now, especially for a beta. So I would be expecting, if all things are good, definitely very, 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 very soon.
What date? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, it's not even about a date. I mean, I think you said that testing started a week ago, and that usually takes about 2 weeks. So depending on, a few things here and there that sometimes come up. I think the last time we were chatting, we were talking about PB2 being released, and that ended up being like 4 or 5 days later than I was sort of intimating. So it's around the corner, man. Real close.
Yeah. And obviously it's going to be just beta. There's going to be no earning or anything like that involved yet. But as long as the team's testing it, we can go and test it. And if there is any bugs, it is what it is. But I'm definitely keen to see what kind of numbers you guys get, because for me, like the auto battler, obviously we've had that access for a long time now, but moving into the open world, especially after watching Grant playing and just things like the sprinting animations and stuff, it just looks like that next step from all the early footage that we did see on what's going to be happening. Have you had much time in the overworld in the current build, or have you not got around to playing too much yet?
I haven't had that much time. So I've only been able to play, I didn't play this version, but I played the previous build. And that was when I sort of lost my mind and I started hyping things up again, because it solidified that this is an IBG, right? It's this interoperable experience where you go from one genre to the next genre. But this new build looks insane. The problem is that the PC that I have, Grant actually took the desktop that I had at my house back to the office. And so I haven't had access apart from on my laptop, which has got a decent card in it, but it's not going to give me the full glory that I want. So I've sort of shied away until I can get. I'm going to take desktops from here this week, but yeah, with NFT Fest coming up and a whole bunch of stuff, I've been pretty busy.
Yeah, 100%. And with this beta, the open world beta, we're going to get a full gameplay loop of capturing alluvials and all that sort of thing to test out, or is it just going to be exploring?
No, 100%. You're going to be able to capture the alluvials. I don't know how many they plan on having in the first versions. I would assume it would be similar to what sort of PB1 was to PB2. But then again, we're 6 months on from when PB1 first came out. So there could be a chance that you get 100 plus alluvials to go and capture. Yeah. Obviously, they're only going to be across 2 regions, which will be a little bit weird compared to the full-blown experience that you get when we have all 7 regions out there. But certainly, if you're into creature capture games, then it's going to be a whole bunch of fun.
100%. Now, is there any plans to have any sort of, and I don't think so, but any game modes tied into this Overworld beta where you actually maybe go into the auto battle or something like that, some sort of form using what you capture in the Overworld? Or is it just going to be the Overworld gameplay loop isolated for this beta?
Isolated for this beta, and then they'll connect the two up. So you bring your deck that you caught into the Overworld, into the auto battler, and so on. But certainly there is progression, right? Like you
got to level up your Illuvials, all that sort of stuff, and keep progressing to keep capturing. Yeah. Perfect. And I don't know if you can hear that. It sounds like it's hailing here at the moment, but it's like just out of nowhere. Anyway, definitely hail. The moving on with the betas. So obviously Overworld, I'm really excited for that one. Like I said, it's looking so polished. But with access, is it just anyone in the beta at the moment can get access to the Overworld beta, or is it going to be a phased release?
No, so anyone who has access to PB 1 and 2, you get access to the Overworld.
Yep, perfect. And how about PvP? Because obviously in the auto battler, we've had survival mode for a long time. Any plans on getting the PvP side out into a beta?
Yeah, so the design of that has been done for a little while now. Aaron did, I think, like nearly 2 months ago, because it was when we released PB2, it was like, look, this is amazing, and having so many different alluvials to choose from, improving the graphics, adding augments, all of that stuff, fantastic. But people care about beating other people, and I think that's the crux of what an auto battle is all about, right? It's that competitiveness. That's what gives it the replayability, and without that, it can get somewhat boring over time. And yeah, so I think similarly with the Overworld, yes, you can progress up, and it gets harder and harder to capture the tier 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s as you progress. But until you can really own those characters and their NFTs, and you can see them in your wallet and you can start trading them on the marketplace, I think we're going to have a similar sort of situation where people are like, okay, now we've seen it. It's amazing. We know it's going to be once it's here, but when is it going to be connected up to the blockchain?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that take, because like it's one of those things. It just becomes when it's in, especially in the Overworld, it's like, okay, capturing like the progression's really nice, but when you know your progression isn't going to stay with you, that's when you get into that. I want like my stuff so that I can upgrade it and have it, and that's where for me, playing a lot of games, playing a lot of betas and stuff like that, I always get my peak interest in betas, but then you don't get that like full enjoyment until you're actually playing through the actual game, where it's whether it's save file, in this term is going to be assets, like where it's your stuff that you're actually is your account that you're progressing through and then fighting other people with and all that.
True, but as I said, you're also going to have the ability to progress through, right? So like as you're capturing these creatures, I'm still going to be keen on getting your tier 5s and your tier 4s, the super powerful characters. And people do that. Like I'm dangerously close to downloading the latest Pokemon that's just come out. A lot of people are saying that it's the best one that they've ever seen. Now, am I going to be able to own those characters? No, but there is going to be that progression. So I don't know. There's a caveat to that, and that maybe people do get addicted to going out into the Overworld, and that's where I think we need to design in different achievements and elements that really promote people, even inside that beta period, to go out there and capture every single alluvial and just see if you can do it, right? Like, imagine if you were the one who could capture every single alluvial, because look, it's going to take hundreds of hours to be able to do that. So it's still a very big achievement.
I think that's like a huge thing that would make the beta a lot more enticing and honestly, I think it would get better testing of the beta, because at the end of the day, that's what it's for, is for testing. But if you throw some achievements that maybe stay permanently on people's account. Like nothing completely broken, nothing that's going to affect gameplay, but just like maybe titles or something like that, or maybe like little avatar like frames or something, like anything that's something.
Give you some emotes or whatever.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
Then when you go into the auto battler, once the real game launches, it's like oh my God, like we could do a set of beta emotes, right?
Yeah.
Like where if you hit this achievement, you get it. Or like, let's say we do like 10 beta emotes, 10 skin emotes that are all based on achievements in the overworld inside the beta. And if you have them, you're like saying that you were that OG in the beta period, that you've got these things. They obviously would be super limited based on how many people are going to be entering. I don't really think it doesn't affect the balance of the game, and it is just a way to reward people for playing and testing early. So yeah, we can definitely
100%. That's down my alley, because that means it's like you're grinding in the beta is actually worth something that you can flex later on. Let's face it, it's all about flex at the end of the day, and that would be that's a wicked idea. I hope you guys get around that with something, like I said, just further test the game, because when people have something that they're aiming for, you definitely like go deeper into strategy and stuff like that, and then find out any bugs that could be inside the game. But that is sick. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it soon. #soon. But the next one I wanted to jump into was Illuvitars. Just sort of give us your TLDR of what's happening with Illuvitars at the moment.
God, man, I feel like we've spoken about this so many bloody times. Like it's turned into a product now, which honestly, it's like digital cards, right? There's so many different collections. There's so many different combinations. It's like cards on steroids, right? Like and the artwork, every time I see it, I'm like, why is this product not out yet, right? Like we have been talking about it for literally 18 months now. And the thing so it's again very, very close. I think, have you seen the leaks of the
pack openings and the bond? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like the web. I'm just seeing if I've got any updates on the web, because otherwise if I was a little bit more prepared for this, then I'd definitely have a leak for you, but maybe I'll pull it up at the end.
Yeah,
but we've got the web guys who have pretty much finished the web integration. So and like we're using IMX testing dollars, like we're buying these things, we're minting the Illuvitars, then we're fusing the different accessories on them. Like everything is working. So again, there's a little bit of back end hookup that needs to happen, but it's pretty darn close. And we were trying to get it done in December.
Yep.
I don't want to say definitively that it will be December, but that's around about what we're targeting. But again, there's still a few things floating around. The thing that is like next level about Illuvitars is it's our ability to, Jesus Christ.
Are you hearing that? Are you
hearing that?
That's the fucking, give me a sec. That's fucking hail. Give me a sec.
No.
Like, yeah, give me a sec. Like, turn the camera. Oh, the screen's delayed. Check it out.
Holy. Wow, that's like snow.
Fucking banging down here in Melbourne.
We've got like our new partnerships manager, he's a beast, right? And he's been talking to some of the craziest brands that and even a few that have come to us in like the last couple of months. And I used to deal with a lot of partnerships, but you know, they would fall through the cracks because we didn't have a dedicated stuff. And we didn't even have like a dedicated product that we could really say, okay, definitively, this is what we can offer you in terms of like our IP, their IP. And Aaron, as you know, is super finicky about like inside the game, what we can and we can't do. And so with Illuvitars, they're sort of outside the universe's law in terms of, like they're not characters or anything like that. They're just, they're versions that are, I guess.
It's not meant to be tied into lore. It's more of a promotional laws. Like I'm trying to think of it like a spin-off of what you've got.
Yeah, it's just a spin-off card game that we made, collections and stuff like that. And so we have the ability now to go to these guys and say, we're going to make promo discs. These promo discs are like a disc that you can only purchase that will only have accessories and Illuvitars from that promotion. So let's say we did McDonald's or KFC or something like that. You would have your Illuvitar dressed up with like eating a burger and some fries and like some like cool McDonald's like meme or something on the hat or whatever, and just make it really, really funny and have that integration. Then potentially we say, hey, do we turn that into like a little toy and put that inside a Happy Meal or something like that, right? Like there's so many different options where we can start integrating these huge brands that have hundreds of millions of followers across all of the ones that we're speaking to. And they're going to be launching a couple of months after we launch Illuvitars. So that really gives us exposure to new markets that aren't necessarily like that have never jumped into NFTs before and stuff like that, which that's why I'm so glad that we're seeing a whole bunch more action from bigger companies now going back into NFTs, because it's actually becoming like people are realizing that not all NFTs are scams and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like we had this like 12-month period where everyone was like, nah, NFTs are bad. We cannot affiliate with NFTs. Whereas, Sony came out the other day. There's been a bunch of other gaming companies that have come out and said that they're going to be doing them. And so we're certainly getting a lot better reception now than what we were like 6 to 12 months ago. Yeah. So it's going to be, they're going to be huge. I think what we generate from them is just going to be astounding. So
you do have some things lined up for those?
We've like big things.
Yeah.
Definitely can't speak about like who they are or whatever, and obviously it's not McDonald's or KFC or anything like that.
Oh, it's HJ's.
No, it's we're not speaking to any food companies yet, but put it this way, combine them all together, there's like 500 million of like the 5 brands that we're talking to right now. And not just talking to, like
you're getting places.
Some are very close to signing on the dotted line. We just need to work out what the revenue share is between brands. And but yeah, we've certainly got a whole bunch of concept art out there which is already built, which we presented to them. And obviously, Roger and his team do an extremely good job. You got Dan, who used to be at Magic the Gathering. So it's do not sleep on Illuvitars is all I'm saying.
Sick. Perfect. Well, that's a good update on Illuvitars, because it's been looking pretty close to ready for a long time now. And December's the word. Okay. So, so moving on from that one, Illuvium Zero. Any update on beta access, anything like that?
So it's going to be an alpha. I don't know why they're beta. It's dev things, but it's like, it seems like BS when I sit here and I'm like very, very close, very, very close. They're sort of all outside of it, like they're all segregated in terms of this last little sprint. So there's not too much of a like dedication on any one team to have like involvement in all three things that are being built, maybe the back end. And so what that's allowed us to do is sort of just build teams in this last period to go, you finish Overworld, you finish Illuvitars, and you finish Illuvium Zero. And Illuvium Zero is, again, they're gunning for this year. And I think they will genuinely hit it.
Yep. And as we look forward through everything, actually, this was one thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about Illuvium itself. Have you guys put any more like thought into, because we had a conversation a long time ago about this, around like pricings of the like curing of shards and travel and stuff like that? Have you guys come to any more concrete understanding on what you plan to do in that sense in terms of cost of play?
Yeah. The pricing has been set. We're not releasing it yet, but it's super reasonable. It's nowhere near like what you would expect. What even I was expecting, back in the peak bull run, I was thinking $100 travel or $50 travel or something like that. It's much, much less than that. We're talking like more minute transactions, because you're going to need to travel hundreds or thousands of times if you want to be able to go and capture them all. So it needs to be a system where the barrier to entry isn't so high that after like 20 travels, someone goes, I didn't capture the right thing, so now I'm down, and then they walk away from the game. It's got to be accessible.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's good to hear. And it's all going to be like all payments and stuff like that. Is that going to be pegged to US dollars, or is it going to like be so it's all pegged to a US dollar value? So you don't have the fluctuations based on market. It's just like that's what it is. And then
no, I mean it's based on fuel, right? So like, but that
but that's got minimal variance. But like when you're like, you're not going to hit, like, you're not going to price it all in ETH, and this is like our fixed variable ETH cost. You know what I mean? None of that stuff. Yeah.
No, it's based on fuel, which is based on a USD price.
Yep.
So it can fluctuate 25% up and 25% down, depending on what the Illuvium Zero landholders decide to do in terms of them selling the different fuels back into the pool. But yeah, that's
perfect. Yeah. And it's got to be asked, the actual full release, any sort of idea on where we're at, like big picture for like full Illuvium, open world with auto battle with PvP, like where are we at? Like how many zones are close to finished? Like I know you can't say dates, but I'm just trying to get a gauge for how everything's tracking.
So look, I think we would even open it up with like 2 additional regions and PvP in the auto battle. Like once we get those, there's not much left in terms of these games. Like obviously there's a hell of a lot, year to 2 years, but in terms of connecting up the chain and having everything functional on IMX, that's pretty much like the last of it. Like we're at that stage where we're going to start connecting this stuff together, and yeah. So I don't have a date for you, but again, reading between the lines of having all of these 3 games out, there's not much that's going to go. Not much additional that's required for us to start hooking it all up.
Yeah, so it'll be get them all out, get them into their full beta test so we can test things properly, make sure everything's working, and then it's going to be a matter of, okay, now we actually implement it, close servers for a while, set it all up, and then everyone go from zero, and away you go, and then it's game on. Beautiful. Yes. Can't wait, mate. Can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Like I said, it's once you get it, and it's like then you're actually having those, like those are your teams that you're building and then competing against people. Like that's where the true magic happens in any sort of monster or hero collective for me. So I think it's gonna be 100%. Solid. But definitely looking forward to the end of this year and start of next year to see what we start getting access to, because it's gonna be good to start testing.
So could you hear that?
Nah.
You can't hear that? Oh, it's the beast of the server room.
Oh, is it just cranking? You guys got
Yeah, they're just
decent aircon in
cranking
there?
stuff out. I think it's the last of the Illuvium Zero stuff, but or maybe not. I think they finished that a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, they're cranking something out.
Perfect. Well, is there anything else that, because I'll let you go, we spent a bit of time in intermission with me going and clearing drains and stuff with the hail over here. Is there anything else you want to leave on before we go?
No, I think that's it. I mean, just super excited about Overworld finally going into beta. Again, if all things are good, then we're going to be everyone's going to be playing that in the next couple of weeks. So that's really, really good sign. Hopefully Illuvium Zero isn't too far behind that. And then that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Oh, well, thanks for the update again, mate. Looks like I'm going to be seeing you in Melbourne in a couple of days, which is good. So we'll catch
definitely.
up more then. I'll get some more alpha and just fish it across. That's all good.
Sweet.
Anyway, man.
No, actually, if we do a stream or something, I don't know how we'll do it, but we can do it via a laptop or something. But I'll show you the full mint fuse opening of Illuvitars.
Sick. I'll bring a laptop. We'll get it recorded.
Awesome.
Donskis.
All right, man.
All right, man. Have a good one. Cheers.